Hey everyone, welcome to Simple Easy Art. This is going to be my first video with commentary, so I appreciate everyone recommending the commentary. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be doing the PlayStation logo. We're going to start out with a vertical line, then we're going to come out to the right and draw a line, angle it down, and it's almost like we're drawing a P. Then we're going to want to draw another line that's perfectly parallel to the first line, and then the bottom, it's a little bit angled. Then we're going to want to complete the P and bring that straight down. Now we're going to draw the bottom section. So we're going to want to come up at kind of like a 45-degree angle and bring it pretty close to that P, and then bring it back down, and it's gonna connect exactly at that corner, the bottom corner. And I use pencil because I like to use it as just a guideline, so I can correct it later if something doesn't look just right. So these two lines are going to be like a continuation of that first section that we did. We're going to come around and then just bring that back. And we're going to want to draw another straight line there. Clean that up. And then bring this around. And all these lines, all the lines that come off to the right, like that line I just drew, they're all going to be parallel to each other. So that's something that you want to make sure that you do. Now we're going to draw the lines that are going to separate the colors here. So let's just clean that up a little bit, because that's going to be where the yellow is going to be. So I want to make it pretty light, so when I actually draw the yellow line, you're not going to be able to see too much of the pencil. So I like to use the light colors first because it helps prevent smudging. So you'll normally see me draw, when I'm drawing something that has multiple colors, I'll usually draw the light colors first, just because they don't smudge. If you were to draw the dark colors first and then I were to draw the yellow and I would touch it, it would actually smudge the darker colors. So I like drawing the lighter colors first. So let's go ahead and fill that in. I usually like to give a couple layers so you don't see all of the lines of the marker when you first do when you do the first layer. Let's fill that in a little bit more. Just get rid of those lines. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Alright, so from here, let's go ahead and fill in the section, the center section, that's the P, with the red. So we'll just use the ruler to draw the lines. And once we draw the lines, all you have to do is just color inside the lines and fill it in, and it's a lot easier that way. So let's just go ahead and finish the lines. Bring this around. I made a little bit of a mistake at the top. I'll correct that in a little bit. Just bring that down. Let's fix that little imperfection at the top after we're done coloring in here. So let's just go ahead and fill this in. just remember you want to be careful anytime you get near the edges that you stay within those lines like they always teach you. But as I get close to the lines, I kind of ease up a little bit just to make sure I don't go over it, because with the markers, once you do that, it's hard to fix it. So let's kind of clean these little lines up here. All right, let's clean that little imperfection up there. There you go. Okay, so here we want to, this is where the smudging would have occurred if I would have done the darker colors first. So here it's kind of like a turquoise, the center section. So let's just go over the lines with the marker. And try not to overlap any of the other colors just to prevent the possibility of smudging. And I like to use this clear ruler just because you can see where everything else is while you're drawing the straight lines. So I would definitely recommend, if you don't have a clear ruler or a protractor, to get one, just because it makes it easier just to see what you're doing as you draw the straight lines. Whereas if you have another, a solid ruler, a lot of times you can't see exactly what's behind it, and it kind of makes it a little harder to draw. So we got the basic outline going on for that center section. Now we can go ahead and fill it in. I like to use this piece of paper just to cover the drawing, so when my hand's on top of other areas that I've already colored, it's not going to smudge it. That's going to be one of your biggest things that you just have to watch out for when you're doing drawings with markers, just preventing the smudging. So between choosing when to do the light colors and using the piece of paper to put under your hand, that usually helps me with preventing most of the smudges. So again, this is kind of like a light blue, kind of turquoise, and then the last section is going to be more of a regular or a slightly dark blue. Just fill that up. Now we can go ahead and get started on the last section, which is the darker blue. Again, just be careful not to touch the red. Just go right next to it. We could probably bring this line all the way down through the rest of the sections. I left a little bit of a gap there, so I'm gonna fix it up a little. I'm just going to bring the line up just a little bit because it starts to curve, so that'll give me space to draw the curve. Another thing to remember is when you're drawing these lines and you know you're going to color in that section, it's okay to mess up on the inside of that section because you're going to color over it anyway. You just want to make sure that you don't mess up on the outside of that line, because if you do, it's a little bit harder to cover because you're not coloring out there. So a lot of times I'll be a little bit more careless on the inside of a section like that, just because I know I can always color over it. So now let's use the piece of paper again. Go ahead and color this in, and after this section, that should pretty much be it. So thanks everyone for tuning in for another Simple Easy Art video. Stay tuned, I'll be adding more videos later this week. Thanks again to all my viewers and subscribers that made the suggestions to do this video and others, as well as adding commentary. And I will talk to you guys later.